Hey guys, this is Fusion, and today we're going to be reviewing Transformers Into the Prime's Excellion. So let's get right into it, starting with his paint and his details. We're going to start off with the head sculpt, which is very nice, and I like the gold on the visor. I'm not sure about the actual whole head though, with the little bland gray. It's all over the robot mode actually on the tires, which isn't that much of a complaint considering the fact that they're supposed to be the things on the ground. Not like the actual, they don't need paint pretty much. And then here on the torso, you can see more of that gray stuff. And then on his feet, they have the gray. And then the back tires have the gray. And here on these old vents, they have the gray. But you can even see, and then if we go to his eyes though, you can see some blue paint if you look really close. And then here we have some sticking out wires and stuff, which I like the Autobot insignia here. But on the box, it says he's a Decepticon, so I'm confused by that. And on the biceps, we have some nice orange paint, and then the gray on the forearms, and some nice scarlet for the hands, in whichever, he's mostly scarlet paint, actually, which is pretty nice. And then here for the shins, they're red, except he got gold here. And then the tires are the exact same. Back, there's nothing there, except for these vents. That's there. And then his feet are gray, pretty much. So that concludes the paint and details. We can get into his articulation. The head is on a ball joint. It can look up, it can look down, and it can go side to side. And due to transformation, his shoulder can go up like this, and then there's a hinge right here for his arm to go like this for transformation, but it can still stick out. And he has a bicep swivel, 90-degree bend at the elbow, and some wrist, and his wrist can move. And then you have the hips, they can go all the way around. They can kick forward, kind of kick back. It's hard with this windshield though. And then and then out to the side. He also has a thigh swivel, a knee bend, and his ankles, they go like this due to transformation, all the way like that. And then his feet, they kind of tilt down, but not even that much, but they do tilt up. That concludes the articulation. Let's get into his accessories. He first up comes with his own cyberplanet key, in which has speedometers on it and a lightning bolt in the middle. And so I'm guessing it gives him like a speed boost or something. So pretty much we just insert it in that little slot, and then you can just move the arms for clearance to pull these out. And then he has a gun made completely out of the exact same plastic as the key. So I'm guessing it's like a weapon in which he gets when he activates the key, which is kind of cool. And then on both sides, the doors for the vehicle mode can come off to reveal a 5mm port here. So that's cool. So it's not like right here. And then that's it for the accessories. So now we could probably start getting into sins. We're gonna start off with Skybite here. Their prime toe line. Now let's do the UV test. Let's see, the biceps and the thighs actually aren't that bad, but right here with like that red that's not as vibrant and glossy as this one, that creates a really nice glowing effect. And then you can even see with the hands. I'm just gonna spin them around. Nothing that strong except for that bland red. The key, the cyber key, kind of gives off something. Not too powerful though. And that's pretty much it for the UV test. So now we can get into this guy's transformation. First off, taking the backpack and pulling it away from his body, and then putting this little tab right in there. Then you're going to take his head and slide it back into that little cavity. You're then going to rotate his backpack, and then you want to literally just open up his shins and collapse his legs in there, and then just close those up, open, and then do the exact same for the other side. And then you're going to go to his feet. It says to do this when his legs are connected, but I like to do this before because it's just easier. And then, so you want to open this up, fold the foot in, and then close the spoiler back up. Then you can now connect the legs together with these tabs that will go into those slots. And then you're going to take the backpack, in which, once you just get it at this, where this lines up, you can just push down on it. You can then take the front of his shoulders, aka the front of the vehicle, and push those together. And then you can take his arms, and you might want to move those up a bit so those tabs can go into those slots here. So pretty much you just fold that in and then kind of lift that a bit, make sure that goes in, and then you snap the windshield down. And that is his transformation complete. Here is Excellion's vehicle mode completely complete. So let's start with the paint applications. Yet again, I like the gold flame they have right up front on the bumper here, and the vents here and here. And then you have your clear plastic windshield, which is actually, the clear plastic is on a hinge. So, I mean, if it breaks, I kind of hope it's at a point where I can use glue or something to fix it. And here you have the gold, more gold, and then the wheels have a nice paint job. And if you look underneath, there's not too much kibble. You can kind of see the hands though, but it's not that bad. And then the feet are gone. The shins, they're not that big of an issue, and the shoulders, it's just exposed wiring. And the chest plate, it's not that bad either. And pretty much that's basically it for the paint applications and stuff. So now we can probably get to his accessories. Starting off with his cyber key, which plugs into the exact same spot. And then the instructions say you're supposed to lift this entire section up and then pull the wings out, but I find it that it kind of untabs this, and it doesn't tab in as perfectly as it did before. So I just like to, there's this little gap here that you can reach, and then just pull those out. And then his gun will store into this nice little 5mm port. And then that's pretty much it for the accessories. So we can probably get into comparisons. So first up, we have Skybite, Prime, Shot, finally, Towline. Now let's do the UV test for his vehicle mode. There's kind of some stuff you can see that lights up a bit, but not much. So anyways, that's it for today's review. Thank you for watching, and this is Primal Fusion.